Hello, everyone. We are just going to give folks a little bit of time to get logged in and then we'll get started. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be joining us from today. Welcome to today's webinar, co-hosted by the New York Oracle User Group and Oracle partner Viscosity. We've got a great presenter for you today, and we're so thankful to have him showing us around OCI AI services within Oracle Apex applications. It is a live webinar, so feel free to submit questions in the Q&A field and he will get to you as he can. And if anything else, if you think of questions after today's webinar, you can always follow up with us and we can send them his way or link you with the speaker. All right, so my name is Monica Lee. I'm the marketing director here at Viscosity. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about us, but before I do, I'd like to turn it over to Coleman from the New York Oracle User Group Board.
Thank you, Monica, for the kind introduction. The New York Oracle Users Group was formed in 1984 for the exchange of ideas, assistance, and support among users of Oracle software products. Of course, you can reach out to us at NYOUG.org, as well as other social uh, areas as well. And I just want to let everybody know that September 30th, we are having an on-site meeting at the IBM's headquarters in New York City. That's 1 Madison Avenue. There'll be speakers from Viscosity as well as other speakers from IBM and Oracle. And you'll keep track of the information coming out. It'll be on our email blast as we get closer to the date. So you'll be able to find out all information as well. And you can go to our website, nyoug.org, for information about it. And again, I just want to thank Monica and Viscosity for co-hosting the series of webinars for the past, is it 6 years, Monica?
Six.
And going strong. So thank you again. And we look forward to hearing from Oscar in a few moments. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you so much. All right, and I will run through these real quick because I know you want to hear from Oscar and not me. So, viscosity is built upon these three main pillars here. We are a full Oracle Stack consulting firm, so if there's anything here that speaks to any of your pain points, or maybe future planning for you and your organization, and you need some assistance or just want some trusted advisors on your side, we would love to help you out and chat. Across the bottom in gray, you'll see some things we offer across all three pillars. On this screen, these are just some of our more recognizable leadership and principal consultants at Viscosity. So our clients definitely get to use the expertise of these guys and more. These are just the ones that are part of the Oracle ACE program. If you're not familiar with that, it's very cool. Oracle recognizes different thought leaders and presenters, publishers, things like that around the world, and they're non-Oracle employees, and they're just recognized in different tiers and or levels for what they offer and the amount of time and expertise they offer to the Oracle community. So we're very proud to have these six folks on our team. On this page, I just like to point out at least Oracle License Management. Managed services and staff aug are always great as well, but the hardest thing I think to navigate sometimes is when you are up for renewals or you need new licenses, making sure you're only paying for what you need, getting the most out of that conversation with Oracle. Yes, you can negotiate. So partners like Viscosity are going to be more well versed in this because we have to do it more regularly than an organization. So take advantage of a partner if you have one and make sure that you put them to work. Make sure that they get the best deals for you and that they are following up with you to make sure you're using your investments correctly and to the fullest. All right. And with that, today's webinar is going to be posted to orapub.com, which is Viscosity's training site. You can become a free member there, browse tons of these webinars that we've done. There are some paid tools and resources there as well. But if anything, free membership, great. You can see the slide deck and the recording of today's webinar, as well as hundreds of others. You can also still find it at nyoug.org as well. And with that, I'm going to pass it back over to Coleman to introduce Oscar.
Thank you very much, Monica. So Oscar is a senior Oracle Apex developer. He's also a consultant at the Fire Department of the City of New York. He's an Oracle Application Express developer and Oracle Cloud administrator with more than 17 years of experience in all phases of the software development lifecycle. He's developed applications for utilities and auditing companies. His main technologies are Oracle technologies such as the database, Apex, PLSQL, cloud infrastructure, machine learning, data mining, and advanced analytics. And again, I want to thank Viscosity for co-hosting a series of webinars with us. And Oscar, it's all yours now. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to share my screen. Um, one moment. Okay, so
Looks good?
okay, looks good, right?
Yes.
So thank you for joining this presentation. Let me change my pointer. Okay, now we should be good. Welcome to this presentation about integrating OCI services into Apex applications. So a little bit about me. I had been Apex developer since 2005, when actually it was still known as HTML-DB. I have experience and certifications at different levels in Oracle technologies such as Apex, PL/SQL, Autonomous Database, and OCI. This is my contact information, my email, blog, and LinkedIn profile. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about this presentation or any other related topics. Um, okay, we are going to talk about today about OCI AI services. So these services are available in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. On the main menu of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, there is a group called Analytics and AI. And in this group, there is another group called AI Services. So here we have different features such as generative AI, language, speech, vision, and document understanding, and also digital assistant, generative AI agents. So we are going to talk about and demonstrate most of these services with the exception of digital assistant and generative AI agents. Okay, so these AI services, I think of them as very pre-trained models that are very good at very specific tasks, maybe with the exception of generative AI, which is more for general tasks, but all the others are trained for a very specific task, and they are very good at them. And also, as I'm showing here on this screen, in this table, they are also very cost effective. That means that is very cheap to use. Actually, most of them have free tiers. So for example, Vision Image, which we are going to show later, which have image analysis, object detection, text extraction, and other features. The first 5,000 transactions are free, and after that, it's only a quarter of a dollar for 1K transaction, from 1,000 transactions. So as you can see, is very cost effective. Most of the services we are going to show have this free tier. With the exception of generative AI, there is no free tier for those services. Okay. For the demo that I'm going to do today, I'm going to use two environments. One is a local environment where I have Oracle AI Database 26 AI free release. I have installed their Apex 26.1. This environment is completely local. Of course, it will communicate with the OCI services over the internet. And the other environment that I will use is an Oracle Autonomous Database, also with 26.1. I will mainly use the local environment. However, I will have to use the autonomous database for one specific way of communicating with the OCI services, which I will explain in a moment. But mainly, as I mentioned, I will use the local environment mm, mainly because it's more performant, because there is less network overhead there, right? Um, okay, so for using these services, we will need, of course, an OCI account. And in that account, we will need a user with the required permissions to access these services. So the way to do this is to create policies. You create policies that are linked to a group, and the user is registered as a member of this group. So that way, the user can get the required permissions from the policies. This is like the steps to do it in the Oracle Cloud account. There is also some families in the documentation that you can use to grant access to some of the services. So for instance, for vision, document understanding, speech, you can use one family called AI service family. So with that, you can simply grant this permission, and it will get access to all of these services. So this is like a simplified way. So the policies doesn't have to don't have to be very big or very complex. You by using these families that are available. You can check the documentation for any other existing families there. So once you have the user in a group that has associated the policies, you will need to create an API key in OCI. So here are the steps to do it. Inside identity and security, you go to the user, select the user, go to API keys, and click in add API key. And from there, you can generate it and download the API key. You can also preview the configuration from this screen, from the console, and you will see something like this. So this contains most of the information that we will need later to create the credentials in Apex, as we are going to show in a moment. Okay, OCI provides different SDKs and APIs to integrate with the OCI services. For example, we have REST API, which is based on HTTPS. We also have PL/SQL SDK. We also have other SDKs for other languages such as Java, Python, Go. But these two, the REST APIs and PL/SQL SDKs, are the easiest options to implement in Apex without needing external components. So we are going to use both approaches, mainly REST APIs, but are going to demonstrate also the PL/SQL SDK. So for using the REST APIs in Apex, you can create a REST data source. Um, to create a REST API source, data source is very simple to do in Apex. You just need to provide the URL and the credentials that are authorized to use those services. You can get the URL from the documentation. I will also show the URL in a moment. And this is the way to create a credential using the Apex UI. So to do that, you go to Web Credentials. This is in Workspace Utilities and Apex Workspace. Uh, Web Credentials and click Create New One, right? Here we have different types of credentials. When you select the type as OCI authentication, it will ask for these fields. These are the fields that are getting from the API key that we created before, right? So all the information is there. You only need to copy and paste from the API key to these fields in in this screen. Okay, this has the advantage that when you create this credential, it can be used in the REST data sources, but also it can be used in another components such as vector providers or other Apex components. Okay, once you have created the REST data source, you can invoke it in two ways. One way I'm showing here is using PL SQL. So you will use Apex exec package. To do it, you will need to call the static ID that you defined in the REST data source. You will need also if the API has any parameter, the REST data source has any parameters, you can pass it here using Apex exec add parameters as I'm showing here. And after that, if you want to store to do something with the response, you can invoke it using this line. Okay. So this is one way to do it. It will give you full control, but you will have to write PL SQL code. So there is also another way in Apex that is completely declarative option in Apex. You can create a process. This is the way to do it. When you create a process, there is a type called invoke API. Here you will select what type of API you are invoking, in this case, REST source. You will select the REST data source that you want, the operation, and in case there are any parameters, it will show here in a tree under the invocation, under the process. You can see here the parameters that are associated to that API, and you can define what you want to send in these parameters, right? So this is another option, and it is completely declarative in Apex without writing code. Okay. Okay, so that was for the REST API. For the PL SQL SDK that I was discussing before, in this case, you don't need to create a REST data source. You simply call or code PL SQL code, and in the PL SQL code, you will call a package, right? So but there is a thing to notice here. If you are using on-premise database, you will need to install these packages. You see from here that the packages are DBMS, Cloud, OCI, and it's a long name here of the package. These packages are not available by default on premises databases. So what you will need to do is to install it. I know there is a way to do it, but I haven't done it, but you can do it. But on the other hand, if you are using autonomous database, these packages are installed by default. So this is a huge advantage. If you are already using autonomous database, you can use these packages without having to install them. They are already there. They are already kept up to date to the latest versions. So it's a huge advantage if you are already working on autonomous database. And now, as you can see, this is a very simple code. PL SQL code is you invoke a procedure in in a package. So any PL SQL or Apex developer can do this. It's very simple to do, right? So this is the other option to communicate with OCI AI services. Okay. Here we will need to pass also a credential. So the way to create this credential is also by using a DBMS Cloud package. Uh, this can be the same API key that we used for creating the web credential in Apex. It can be the same. You don't have to create an API key for the Apex credentials and another for the DBMS Cloud credential. No, you can reuse the same API key, and you can see that the fields that you will need to pass to this parameter to this procedure are very similar or as even the same of the parameters that we create when we created the Apex web credential, right? So these are the URL documentation. The first one is for for the REST API. The second one is for the PL SQL SDK. So if you need to implement using any of these API, you will definitely need to check this documentation. There is it is everything explained there. Okay, so let's see it in action. So let me go to my screen. Okay, so I have this application. There are many AI services that I am showcasing here. So let's start in order. Let's start with this image classification. This is an Apex application. This is running in my local environment. So what I'm going to do is to select an image. I have here some sample images. I can also upload, but okay, I'm going to select one of my sample images. So I have selected here, and these are the different features that I can use in Vision, in the Vision AI service. So for instance, for this, I'm going to use face detection. So when I click this, here I am calling the API service on the OCI, and the OCI received the image, analyzed it, and returned all the faces that it detected on the image, right? If we check, I have here the JSON result that was returned by the OCI service. We can see here a JSON structure, and for each phase, it will tell me what is the confidence for this phase that was detected, the quality, and also a bounding polygon with 4 normalized vertices. As you can see here, so these are 4 coordinates. So these 4 coordinates is what I am using to draw this square or this polygon here in the image, right? So I am using a Canvas HTML element and also JavaScript to do this. So once I receive the response, I can do this as I'm doing here. As you can see, it's very accurate of the faces that it detected, right? Uh, okay, let me showcase more features of, let's use this image now. And let me do text detection. Okay, so very similar to the previous example. In this case, I also received what was the text detected. So what I'm doing here is to put the text that it was detected by the service, and also it returned the bounding polygon that has that text, right? So that is what I'm doing here. If we check the response now is a little bit different. Now here I can find the words. This is new. We had this text here, and we had the same bounding polygon that we had when we used the face detection. With that, I can paint these rectangles around the text that it was detected. So as you can see, it's very accurate. Let me show how it's done. So in this dynamic action is where I am going to call the code. Let me try to zoom in a little. So in this case, I am using Apex exec as I showed before in the presentation. I am passing some parameters. One parameter, of course, is the image, that which is in this case is passed as a CLOB base 64 type. So I can pass it here using add parameter. I can pass all the parameters. Here I invoke the OCI REST source that is called OCI Vision. And then I can get the response using this line, right? With that response, I pass it to a hidden item here in on the screen that will have the JSON, and then from the JSON, I will do all the processing for showing the polygons and what it detected, right? If I'm going here to share component REST that data sources, you see I have here multiple REST data sources created. I think this was the name of the REST source that I just showed, right? So I can enter here. Here I have the URL, and here I have the different operations that this API allowed. The one that we are using is this, the post. If I see here, you see that we have a body template. And here are all the parameters that I passed before. If you remember, I showed PL SQL code that was passing some parameters. All of these parameters are here in the body template. Here in this part I map those parameters, and I am saying that those parameters are a request body. So all those parameters are going to replace here where is anything here in the pound signs, it will be replaced, right? If I check and I have here, let me see if I can do it from here. I have here the REST API documentation. Specifically this for analyze an image. So here I can see what is requested to send in the REST API, in the request body specifically. So here it says that must contain this resource. If I click in this resource, I can see that it will need compartment ID, features, and image, right? So if I can see here, I see that I have my compartment ID. In the same label, I have this image that is also a JSON object. And at the same label, also I have a feature that is also a JSON object, right? So I can go further. So now, how is the JSON object for features? So features is an image feature type here. I can click there, and it will show me what are the different. In this case, if we are using face detection, it will need this kind of attributes in the JSON object that I am passing, right? So this is the way to implement this kind of services. You will need to go to the documentation to analyze what are the JSON structure required, and you will need to build that JSON structure and pass it here, replace it with parameters, and the parameters send it from the invocation from the screen, right? So that is the way. Let me check if maybe there are any questions. Okay, I don't see any question in the chat. Okay, so let me go forward. Now, this screen, let me zoom out a little. This screen, I'm going to show it not from the local environment. I'm going to show it from the autonomous database. Why? Because I am going to use PL SQL SDK, and as I mentioned, in the autonomous database is already installed there, and I haven't installed it on my local on-premise database, right? So it basically will work the same. Let me do this face detection. It should do the same, yeah. But if I'm going to the code, here we have different PL SQL codes, PL SQL blocks, and here depending on the type, let's find the face detection. This is the one that I just used. So here, as you can see, what we are going to invoke is a PL SQL package. This procedure analyze images, and from here, I will pass the parameters. So some parameters are also types inside the database. So you will need to check what that type was, what are the fields for each of the types, and also it can be regular barcode parameters, right? Also, we will need to pass the credential. So you can see this might be easier to use because I don't have to create the REST data source, and I pass directly here. So this is another option. And as I mentioned, if you are already using autonomous database, maybe this should be a better option because it's already there. All the packages are already there installed. Okay. Um, okay, let's continue. Let me go back to the local. Now here I'm going to to showcase a new or AI service, and that is a AI generative service to get embeddings. So let me explain what I am doing here. So here I have some images loaded. You see that for the image load that I have loaded, I have some description here. So here, this description is actually it was getting using the the vision service that I showed before. So there is a service. Let me do it for this one. There is a service called classification, I believe. So yes, with this classification, from the image, I can get different labels. So in this case, it got these labels here, right? So it analyzed the image and gave me all the labels that it could identify in this image, right? So that is what I'm using here. Anytime that I am loading an image, I am invoking that service and getting these labels. But also I am using a new service. So let me try to show it here. I believe this is in a trigger. Let me open object browser. Yeah. So when I am when I am inserting on this table AI images, I am first describing the image, right? This describe image procedure. No, this is a function. If I go back here, this is, as I mentioned, this is using the reset API that I showed before, the same API, OCI Vision. With the type image classification, in this case, I am asking to get up to 15 labels. So all of those labels I am getting from this service, right? If I go back to the trigger, uh, then I aggregate the labels separating with comma here and get all of that and inserted in this field, right? And then I am getting the embeddings and inserting on this column. If I check this column, this is a column that is the type is vector. This is a feature of the Oracle database. So we can store vector embeddings in the Oracle database. How I'm getting the embeddings? Let me show it. So here I am calling a package from the Apex AI PL SQL package that is called get vector embeddings. I am sending the labels of the image, and I am using these embeddings. How these embeddings are being used? So let me go back to my, this is in workspace utilities, vector providers, and here I have the vector provider. You can see I am using generative AI service. Let me zoom in a little. I am using generative AI service. Apex supports different vector providers. You can also have local models, uh, or you can have also custom PL SQL. For the purpose of this presentation, because we are showcasing AI services, OCI AI services, so I'm going to use this generative AI service. And I am using the OCI service for this, and the model that is available to get embeddings is this one, right? So that is the way that I am using for getting the embeddings, right? So getting back here, that means I already have on my table the image, the description, and the embeddings, the vector embeddings for that description. So what I can do here is, for instance, type something in here, and what it's going to do is going to convert what I type in here. This is going to be converted also to to embeddings and to a vector embedding. And using our Oracle function, we are going to see the distance from this embedding and the vector embedding for each image. So in this case, I search, for instance, animals, and I am ordering here by the closest distance. So the first that appear is what, according to this vector distance algorithm, it detected that it was the closest. Or right. So these are the one that I close that are close to this vector search. So it means it doesn't have to be a precise search. You can or actually what is happening is searching for similarities in depending on how the vector embeddings were generated, and it will try to find what are the similarities with the embeddings that are for this image, right? I did an experiment. So I'm going to search, for instance, this, which this is food. It's a food from my country. It's called arepa. So if I search for this, let me see what the similarities it finds. So even though here I have some images for food, and you see the labels that were generated. It's food, fast food. Also, this image also has food. So even though it doesn't have specifically the term that I am searching, it somehow it detected that this is food, and that is why it is close to these images that has also food in it. Yeah, you see, if there is the only these two are the only one that has food in it, and these were the closest, right? So that is how this works. The vector distance. Let me show the query. So this is the function that is available. I believe, yeah, this is only available in Oracle 23 AI. Uh, so I think in 19C this won't be available. I'm not sure, but this is a new feature in the Oracle database that you can have vectors in the database and you can use vector distance. There is also different algorithms. So by default, I am using cosine for detecting the similarities, but there are other algorithms that you can use here, right? So here, getting back to the AI services, I am using a vision service for getting the classification, the labels of the images. I am using generative AI service to getting the embeddings, and using the features in the Oracle database, I can search for similarities here. Mhm. Okay. So let's continue. The vision services have also something for video analysis. So I'm going to, okay. So I'm going to showcase this. Here, what I'm going to do is I am going to upload one video. And now the process to analyze this video is a little different. In the previous examples, it was done in synchronous way. That means I uploaded the image and the AI service is processing, and once it's done, it returned the analysis, the response. But in this case, I cannot do that because a video is a big object. So what I will need to do is to put the video in object storage in OCI also, and it will create a job. And you will see here that I am showing the job that was created. This is the idea of the job, and it will analyze the video. And once it's done, here I am using another REST API to poll to ask how to check the job status. And once it's done, succeeded, I can download the response also from the object storage. What the job does is to return the response also in the object storage. So using another REST API, I will have to go to that and get the results, right? So with that results, I can do something like this. This is done using JavaScript also. So what I did was I'm going to show here what objects, faces, and text it was detected in the video. If I play the video, it will show me the different detections that are done in the video. How can I identify where to put exactly those rectangles here in the video? Is because in the response I'm going to show it in a moment, it also has a time offset, so it will show me where that detection happened, when they started and when finished, right? So um, here I have some summary of what it was detected. So it detected all of the objects, the labels it detected. I am not putting labels in the video, but this was detected also. It detected some text and the faces that it detected, right? If I check the OCI response, let me check, for instance, for the objects it detected. So here, it showed me that it detected a human hand. It was detected in 4 segments. And when I open any segment, it will show me the frames. The frames will have a time offset. That means when it started, and uh, the normalized vertices, right, for any of the segment, right? So with the time offset, I can know where to put these polygons or these rectangles around the objects or the faces that it detected. Okay. Um, so let me see if there are any question.
There's some Q&A, Oscar.
Okay, yeah, I got it now. Is one call, one transaction? Well, it depends. For as I explained, for image classification, for instance, this is a synchronous call. Synchronous, that means that I will make the call and simply wait for the response. In that case, it's only one call for transaction. But for the video, it's different because I will need to first put the object in the object storage. Then I will have to create, and for putting the object, I will use API REST API. Then I will create the job. That is another API. Then I will check the status of the job. I will have to do here. Actually, I have a timer, a JavaScript timer that is checking every 5 seconds how the status of the job. And when the job is done, I will need to invoke another API to get the result from the object storage and to be able to process that response in the JSON response and make and present it in the screen, right? So it depends on the type of transaction. Sometimes it's only one call, but sometimes it's multiple calls. Okay. Okay, so let's continue with OCI AI language. So this is another family of the AI services, and we have here different features. So the first that we are going to show is language detection. This is very simple. Here I have some examples already preloaded, so we can do this quicker. So here I have some text to analyze, and this text, of course, is in Spanish. So I'm going to click Analyze Text. These are also synchronous services. That means I don't have to create a job and wait for that. It's immediately it's only one call and I will get the response. So here is very simple. It detected that this is Spanish with 100% confidence. If I check the response will be very simple. Also, I will have this JSON structure showing me that it detected that it's Spanish with confidence of 100%, right? So this is very simple. Let's go for named entities, business announcement. So here I have some text with some named entities. Let me see how it detects this. So when I click Analyze Text, here it detects the Oracle as an organization with 99% of confidence. This it was detected as a location. So this in type location, actually also it creates a subtype, facility. In this case, Austin, Texas also was detected by location. This was detected by as daytime. This as person and University of Texas as organization, right? So yeah, it did a good job to identify the name entities on this text, right? Let me go with this one. So if we have some personal information in the text, what it can do is to detect that and uh, hide that information, right? So here is the text that I am using. So it detected here it was the name of the person. So what it did, it hid the first name. Here it detected an email, right? So it hid the most of the part, only visible the last part of the email. Also, it detected here a phone number, right? So it's showing me only the last 4 digits. Detected a credit card. It's showing me only last 4 digits. The another, no, this is a passport number. An address. This is the address originally in the text, so it was hidden here. So yeah, this feature can identify personal information or health information. I tried to use the health information, but I couldn't get it to work correctly. So this is not, I don't know if maybe I did something wrong, but I couldn't find examples that it hides the health information, personal health information, but it's supposed to be supported by this service also. Okay, it can do also sentiment analysis. So here I have a review for a hotel. Let me see how it does. So here it can classify the different aspects from all these tests. It classified the different aspects as hotel staff, room, location, Wi-Fi, breakfast, and it will show if the comment was positive or negative. So it was positive for hotel staff, for location, but here the Wi-Fi was unreliable, so it's negative, and the breakfast service was painfully slow, so this was also negative. So that way we can do sentiment analysis here. And text classification, this is, I believe, it takes all the text that we are going to analyze, and it classified it in a category, right? So these are the kind of services that we can um, use in the language family. Okay, for the speech, we are going to pass to speech. We have only 4 minutes. Let me let me go to searchable PDF. Uh, so let's say that I have a PDF. This PDF, for instance, is an image. It's a scanned image. This is not text. I cannot find anything in here in this PDF because it's image. One service available is to convert that PDF into searchable PDF. So I'm going to select that PDF that I was showing. And I'm going to uh, convert it to searchable PDF. This is also a asynchronous job. That means I had to put the object in the object storage, create the job, and wait for the job to complete. So the job was successful. Here I can have my searchable PDF. And as you can see, now I can select here, I can find, let me see. Yes, so I can find in here, right? So this is a very interesting also feature. And if you combine this feature with Oracle text indexes, you could actually find from a query from the screen directly in those PDFs that were converted from images to searchable PDF. So here I have some examples of PDF that were images. I did the process, I converted those to searchable PDF, I created the index, and then I created the index. So here I can search inside the file, in the searchable file. So for instance, if I search for water, it's in these two PDFs. I can open. Here I am opening both uh, files. The original file, this one, you see, this is not searchable. This is not text. It's only image. But here, this is text. So somehow it detected that it's water. The word water in here, right? You see, Yes, here it is in this very small, part of the PDF is the word water. So that way, combining with Oracle text indexes, you can have this kind of search into PDF that were previously only images, but you can find text there, right? Okay, for all the rest are very similar. I am using REST APIs for all the other services. Unfortunately we ran out of time and I cannot present these other features, but it's the same idea. The implementation is the same. It's using the REST API that is in the documentation in the URLs that I shared before. So yes, I think we ran out of time. If there are more questions, I am checking. There are no questions in here, but you can reach out to me if you have more questions or you need some code for implementing any of these services. You can reach out to me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. See any other questions for Oscar? Looking around. Okay, looks good. Thank you so much, Oscar. Coleman, Rob, thank you guys as well as always for partnering with us. We will email everyone once Oscar's webinar is posted online and also with any documentation he wants to offer you as well. We'll put it in there. So with that, thank you so much, Oscar. We appreciate this hour of information. And everyone else, please look in your emails for just a heads up from myself or my team, and we will get you guys all the content.
Thank you.
Awesome webinar, Oscar. Thank you so much, and thank you, NYOUG. Take care, everybody.
Take care, everybody. Thank you again.
Thank you.